Good morning. Hope you're having a great day. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and you are watching Ask a Traffic Cop, that show on the internet that answers your traffic and police questions live for at least an hour whenever I'm in the office. That's usually every day, but sometimes like Thursday, we won't be here. But we want to be here as much as possible. So Ask a Traffic Cop, that show on the internet, and let's get going. Let's answer some questions. That's what we're here for. You can drop them in the comments because we're everywhere. We're on all sorts of platforms. Which ones in particular? They're right on screen. I changed up some graphics too. What do you think? Anyway, we're currently on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and the platform formerly known as Twitter, now referred to as X because that's its name. And X now allows you to ask questions right here on Restream. So Restream is the platform we use for broadcasting onto all these simultaneously. And if you would like to ask a question via X, please do so. We would love to hear from you. If you are watching on that other platform, hey, it looks like oh, good, they fixed it. Sorry, really excited. If you're watching on Instagram, you're getting a widescreen version right now. Very cool. It's tiny, but it's working. And good morning, Sean, is the message I got from Adil Pathak on Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really excited. This is cool. And they want to know if we're hiring for parking enforcement. I don't know if we're hiring parking enforcement right now. We'll check employment stuff in about 30 minutes. Halfway through, we usually dip into some discussion about employment. We're definitely hiring for police officers and a whole bunch of civilian roles. My suggestion would be get hired when you can get hired in a position you qualify for. And you know what? This is a career with many jobs. You can start in one section and sometime later change to another. What else do I want to tell you real quick before we get into stuff and things? Instagram, we don't see your questions. I have to look for you. So if you're not getting the attention you are looking for on Instagram, pop over to TrafficCop.ca. You can get links to whatever platform you like. If you want to go to YouTube, it's easy. YouTube.TrafficCop.ca will take you right there. And just a reminder that after the show is done, we download the episode and place it up on social media or podcasting platforms. You can download, synchronize. It'll do it automatically every day. Whenever there's a new episode, it'll go onto your device. And then you can listen while you drive legally without burning your data. Very important. We don't want you breaking any laws listening to us. The whole idea of the show is to help you not get tickets, not create them for you. So that's it. Let's get into Vision Zero Enforcement Team. That's that thing I talk about. The thing, I bet you they wouldn't like being referred to as the thing I talk about. But what is the Vision Zero Enforcement Team? They're a dedicated group of officers who focus on changing, molding driver behavior one ticket at a time. They go out there looking for those who choose to speed, drive aggressively, drive while distracted, using your cell phone or entertainment device, and of course, driving while impaired. Those are not okay, and it's something that's preventable. People choose to engage in those things, and we try and give them a reason not to choose to engage in those things. Yeah. They are out there every day making a difference, and they do a great work. Great work. Today, they are spending time in 32 Division and 41 Division. Those are neighborhoods like Downsview, Willowdale, Newtonbrook, Bathurst Manor, Dorset Park, Kennedy Park, Birchcliff, Cliffside. Neighborhoods where real people live, work, and play and deserve to be safe. Yes, indeed. If you would like to know where they are every day, I suggest you go over to TrafficCop.ca, where you can get links to our social media platforms. If you want to be on X, it's Traffic Services. If it's Instagram, it's Traffic Services Toronto. If you want to find us on Facebook, you can do that, and links are all there. The reason I bring it up is because you can subscribe to those, and we post every morning at 6, 7, and 8 where we are going to be that day for Vision Zero. Yeah, it's a thing. Let's jump into some greetings and salutations as my friend Kayla drops in with hellos. Good morning there. And Kayla, I have to let you know, I bought you something. It hasn't arrived yet, but when it does, we'll talk. Kayla is behind this spam can, which he gifted me at Honda Indy, and I have something. Hopefully, I'll see you at the auto show. So that's where I'll give you this thing. It should be here by then. Anyway, long story short, we're moving on. Dad joke from Michaela, which I flagged for later review. And then, what's going on here? Why am I not seeing the chat? Let me reload this here. I want to make sure that the stuff is working. Hey there, yeah, well, things are starting to work. Let's see if not Instagram. Let's see if TikTok. We've got Tevik who jumped in. Okay, we've got some folks asking questions on TikTok, but I don't see the TikTok messages. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. And today looks like it's again not working, which is really frustrating. But we'll do our best to pick up all your questions manually from TikTok and answer them. So it's going to go slow, but we're going to get to you. If you want to jump over to TrafficCop.ca, you can go to a different platform. YouTube's the best one, youtube.TrafficCop.ca if you want to make sure your questions get answered. But, of course, we love TikTok. We don't want you to leave there. But when we have technical difficulties, it's just easier to catch us on YouTube to ensure that your questions are answered. All right. We got Brandon who says, good morning, Sean and Sergeant Campbell and everyone. Hope you have an amazing day. Thank you, Brandon. Much appreciated. Sergeant Campbell is here. He is elsewhere in the building, and he may join us. I'm not sure yet. I'll be as surprised as you if he walks through the door. And let's see here. Kayla's going to be in a meeting in the beginning, and I can't answer the phone. I have to tell him that I'm not available. Dale messaged me. He hung up. Okay. Dale was trying to call me. Oh, Dale. Okay. So Michael says, I was considering posting the same dad joke as Kayla, but I read it. Okay, he caught it in time. If Ghostbusters were in Toronto, would Ecto-1 be legal? What an interesting question. I've never had a vehicle review question. So I'm going to put it aside because I'm going to pull up a picture of Ecto-1 and we'll go from there, okay? That's what we'll do. I'll check it out shortly. But I think it's a really good question because Ecto-1 has all sorts of stuff and things on it. It's an older vehicle. What year was it made? Okay. Yeah, interesting. I love the Ghostbusters movies, by the way. And Northern Pike says, hello, beautiful world. God bless you all. Well, thanks for the message. Tian says, hello, everyone. And Sean, you were cut off at the start. When will you not be here? Thursday. I will not be here on Thursday. I have to take the day off for some stuff and things. So I'll be back on Friday. And then I have to be off on Monday, so I'll be back on Tuesday. So we have a couple of days, one day this week and one day next week. There will be no show. Okay, Rusty Shackelford says, hey, Sean, if you buy a used trailer, do I need a safety? And if so, can any garage doing vehicle safeties perform the inspection? You know, it's funny. I've never owned a trailer. I don't know if they need to be safetied. I imagine they would have to be. Well, you can have a home built one. I don't know if it needs a safety, but I know who does. I guarantee you that Sergeant Campbell will know. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text Sergeant Campbell right now to say 2 questions waiting for you on TikTok or on the show. Here we go. 2 questions. He's going to be so excited. Waiting for you. I'm typing with one thumb. You on in the show. I guess I could have just dictated that using Siri, but whatever. Okay, we'll come back to you, Rusty, because I just don't know the answer. I'd be guessing. Brandon Kelly, is this from Toronto, Canada? It is from Toronto, Canada. Welcome. And I'm assuming this means you've never been here before, so follow us, subscribe. We're here most weekdays from 10 to 11-ish. And let's see. And G, good morning, sir. I had 1 or 2 questions. I wish you read my message. I read your message. Got to ask the question, though. And please use the letter Q to put your question as a question so I know it's a question and not a comment to somebody else. Okay. Billy Wang says, I saw on TikTok a bike ride, his bike on the highway, but the police didn't find out. But what is the punishment? So if you ride a bicycle on a controlled access highway, you'll be escorted off the highway. I've never laid a charge for what is eligible for that. So let's see if I can find a charge very quickly. I don't want to spend too much time digging because when I'm reading into things that I've never laid, sometimes it's easy to find and sometimes it's not. Controlled access. Let's see. Controlled access. No. Cyclist riding crosswalk. No. Bicycle on controlled access highway. $110. No points. There you go. That was fairly easy to find. Cool. That's OREG 630, Section 1, Sub A. Will any TPS cars be at the auto show? Yes. quite a few of them, actually. We're going to have some historic vehicles. Actually, everything you've seen except one that you possibly haven't. And it's been on the road. It's all nice and shiny and ready to go. If you are planning to be at the auto show, I will be at the auto show. You should come by and say hello. We're going to do the show from the auto show, which is super exciting. I'm super excited. It is something that I've been looking forward to. It's been years since I've been at the auto show with the Toronto Police. We're back. It's the first time in quite a while. So very excited. We're going to have some cool stuff, and we're going to broadcast from there. So we'll talk about auto show again shortly. But when is it? It's next month for like 10 days. Very exciting. Evandro is here watching, and so is Michael L. Michael wants to know why the border is so big today. I have to zoom in. I've tried something new. So I have the ability of doing the zoom thing in here, but I'm trying different stuff. So, yeah, trying to do different stuff. That's the answer. LinkedIn user who is anonymous. I don't know who you are because for whatever reason, you've got your privacy settings. So good morning, LinkedIn user. Okay, so Hench says, hello, sir. I have lots of questions, but the specific one is that I want to apply for PEO or Special Constable to TPS Careers. Don't have any option to apply for these. So is there any specific month? I think you asked this on a previous show in the last couple of days. The answer is to reach out to the employment unit. tps.ca/careers would be the website. And from that website, you can find out lots of great information and reach out to a recruiting officer. Now, I don't know when they're holding their next class. It's not a specific date or time. It's when they have sufficient numbers or funding to run a class. They have room to hire a certain number of people or whatever their criteria is. They'll put a posting up. Now, I was going to leave it for 15 minutes from now, but guess what? We're going to talk about it now. We're going to talk about it as soon as I get this webpage on my screen. Careers. Here we go. All right. So this is the careers page. That's where you get to when you go to tps.ca/careers. I know it's shocking. Once there, you can click on parking enforcement officer or special constable for information. But if you go to civilian roles, you'll actually see when there are openings. So this is something you should check. Anyone who's interested in becoming a member of the Toronto Police Service should check here regularly because you will see things like this. Job postings, there's currently 9 of them. Communications operator, digital evidence management operator, financial strategies and projects advisor, administrative assistant, service person, temporary administrative person in the talent and acquisition section, the intermediate technical analyst, a developer in the digital team, and of course, the youth and policing position. So those are things you can do. And when there's a parking enforcement option, it'll be showing up there. So that's something, like I said, to check on a regular basis. All right. Greetings from Germany. I saw that. What's going on? We have friends who just moved to Germany. Actually, someone in our office left our office and moved to Germany. So we've yet to make plans to go visit, but apparently Oktoberfest is a good time to go. But thanks for saying hey. Let's see here. We got and just because we finished with what you should do. I have done post-secondary and police foundations. Cool. So that was just wanted to read the rest of the message. LinkedIn user says, thank you for doing what you do. What you are doing each day. Well, you're very welcome. It's something that I really enjoy doing. So I appreciate the appreciation. A hello on behalf of the 37 class auxiliary officers in Peel Region. What's up, guys and gals and people and persons and everybody? Got to include everybody to make sure I don't do anything. Okay, Michael H. says, I looked up Ecto 1 before the show. The blue lights would be an issue to use on the highway allowed at a show. Okay, this is it. I'm really here. Let's look up Ecto 1. And people were saying, like, you're not talking about Ecto 1. I want to know about stuff and things that matter to me. But you know what? Every show is different. Ecto 1 photos. I mean, I have some issues with, is it the original or the revamp? Because the one that was used in the most recent movies has like ejector chairs that slide out, and I could have some issue with doors that do that kind of stuff. But I do think that it is a cool vehicle. Where's a good picture? I'm not looking for the Lego version. Let's go with this one. $220,000 someone's selling it for? A 1959. No, this is a terrible picture. This is such a bad idea to do right now. Okay. I want high res. Here, I'll just share my screen with you so you can see what I'm doing. I'm looking for a good photo. So, I mean, the light bar, if active on the road, but did they not have some special authority? They were in New York, first of all. So, I can't speak to the laws there, but the laws here, blue lights, not permitted because it's reserved for law enforcement and snowplow. Ghost removal doesn't qualify. But maybe they have some special, end of world scenario situation at play. What here? What else could it be? I mean, they have lots of equipment. Is it secured? Now, there's emissions issues. It's an older vehicle, so it only has to follow the emissions requirements of the year of manufacture. I don't see anything that's an issue. They may not even require, what year is it? 1959. They may not even require seatbelts. But I don't see any issues with it being on the road other than the lights and maybe carrying a radioactive, containment system. Is that fair? Okay. I now want to kind of look further into this. Down the rabbit hole we'll go at another time. Right now we're going to continue with the show. I'm closing this off because I want to see what TikTok's being ignored for a little bit. So I apologize to you guys. It's not working well. The system that normally would make sure that you are being heard does not appear to be working. And it's been a couple days. Possibly because we're using the new layout system. We'll try tomorrow's show on the old system. Anyway. Okay. What is this? Oh, Northern Pike wants to know what the pin is that I'm wearing here. This is the memorial pin for our fallen officer. Andrew Hong was killed on duty, and he was a member of the motor squad and traffic services, and this is the pin, his pin. Okay, Linda says, good morning, my hero. Hope you're having a great day. We love you all. Thanks so much. Dr. Nick has a question. I have a shotgun in my trunk. Am I allowed to go into the store and buy ammo and leave it unattended? Firearms question. Why do you have a shotgun in your trunk? Shotguns, like other non-restricted weapons, need to be secured, and it doesn't say you can't leave it in the vehicle, but you wouldn't want that to get into the wrong hands. So could you go in to buy ammunition if you're on the way? Yeah, you could leave it there. Let's see here. We got Aaron who says, Aaron, we already, Ein. So we already got the hello greetings from Germany. See, and Chase jumps in with an answer to Dr. Nick. Yes, Firearms Act allows you to do that as long as as long as the truck can be securely locked. And you want to keep that out of sight. No rack on the back of your pickup. That would just cause some stuff. I really overfilled my coffee. Like really overfilled it. Yes. I've had too many coffees already. Paul says, good morning, Sean. Actually, he says, good morning, Sean. Okay. We got, I don't know what word we're talking about. Anyway, Anonymous says, it's a bad word in German, but I don't know what word we're saying. Okay, we have a question. And thank you for the cue to clearly make it. Ryan knows what's up. Ryan's Thin White Line Interceptor says, good morning, Sean. Speaking of the auto show, will you be there every day of the show or only specific days? It is my intention to be there every single day. So, yes, I will be probably with less energy as the show goes on, but it's my intention to be there every day unless something comes comes up that I can't plan for. Okay, we got AIS Photog says, hey there, who would I speak to about the recruitment process? Okay, we covered that a couple times, so it's traffic. Go to tps.ca/careers. And a further follow-up was, would you consider police preparation websites valuable for the OACP? I used, what did I use? Something police prep. I think I used police prep, and I thought it was great. Lots of practice tests, anything to get your brain working. Like I also went to a tutor, and for grade 7 math, not because I couldn't count, but because I wanted to be faster, because it's a time test. So the faster, more efficient you can be, the better you'll score, or at least have more time available. And that's a big thing. Yes, tips and tricks to make you more efficient. If I get pulled over and I have weed in my pocket, is it best to tell the officer that I have it, or should I remain silent? That I can't give you counsel on that. I mean, here's the deal. If you have weed in your pocket and it's sealed from the manufacturer, you bought it in the store, it's still sealed, it's legal. If you don't, if the seal is broken, then it can be legally stored in the trunk or a bag. If it's in your pocket, you're not doing it right if it's open, and you'd be subject to charges. So, if you tell them, they're probably going to charge you. Just don't put it in the wrong place. That's the better option. Store it appropriately. Marijuana is legal in certain quantities. Hey, a good sergeant. He surprised us with it. I've
only got about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, but then there's 2 questions that you can answer, so that's perfect.
I don't know. Hopefully I can. There we go. Hopefully I can.
So here's question 1. Hey, Sean, if I buy a used trailer, do I need a safety? And if so, can a garage doing vehicle safeties perform the inspection? I don't know. I've never bought a trailer.
So on a regular trailer, no, you don't need a safety. You have to plate it. It doesn't have to have insurance on it. It can be covered by the vehicle that's towing it, unless it is a commercial trailer, in which case you would need the annual safety done every year. That's that yellow sticker that goes on there that is issued from commercial vehicle inspection.
So we're not talking about it's not a commercially available purchased, like it's not by buying it from Costco, it's because it's for commercial purposes.
For commercial purposes, right. Like a landscape trailer that's being used by a company, it requires it.
Okay.
But a personal use trailer or a boat trailer or a camper trailer, it does not require safety. But if you're to operate it and it's not safe, the obligation's on you.
I like it. There was a question earlier about Ecto 1. The Ghostbusters vehicle. Do you think there's anything unlawful about Ecto 1?
And all the stuff that's attached to the side, the blue flashing lights?
Well, the blue flashing, I had to look up the picture, but there were some questions about blue flashing lights, if that was an issue.
The siren?
Oh, siren can't be installed. You can't have one on a vehicle. See, extra points. I didn't think about that.
There you go. It's not really much of a siren. It was like,
it's emitting sound. I don't think you can call it a horn. I like the sound of that siren. Actually, we should change all of our sirens to sound like Ecto 1.
That was it. That was the 2 questions.
That was one question. There was another question, but am I going to remember where it is? Does anyone remember what the other question was? We'll have to come back to it another time. That was the big one. I flagged it. I don't know.
The trailer one.
I think that was the only one. Oh no, there's definitely one more. Let's see here. Boom, boom. I'm trying to scroll through it again. In other news, we're going to be at the auto show.
I did hear that. I'm not going to be at the auto show. I'm going to be chasing snow. Took my vacation in February so that I can do that.
We'll have a cardboard standee in place of we should do that. Yeah.
Well, some of our fans are not so much fans. You may think you mean an awful lot of cardboard to make the likeness of me.
There you go. I can't find the other one. Does a trailer? Oh, does it? No, that's not it. We know about trailers and plates. They need plates.
Yep.
Maybe I don't have one. There's a shotgun in the trunk question we covered. We had greetings from Germany. We've talked about that a lot.
Hello. Don't say that word.
I don't know what the word is.
Bird's the word.
Oh, this one. I think someone was having a fun trying to get me to say something that's not nice.
No. Yeah, don't say it then.
I won't say it.
Okay.
Apparently it's a bad word.
All right.
Okay, auto show every day. No, I think maybe there's only one.
That's it. What are we at here? Okay, I got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Let's do another one.
Did we ever find out what a public utility emergency vehicle is? The ones in the HTA requires people to pull over. I don't think we ever did find out.
Public utility emergency vehicle.
And we've got a standing question that I'm researching because we have certain vehicles that do qualify for under federal law, but they're not covered under the HTA. So I'm trying to figure out for those for certain vehicles.
Are you talking like military police?
Kind of, sort of. Well, military is totally separate.
Railway police?
They're covered.
They are covered. Public utility emergency vehicle.
We'll have to dig more into it. We've talked about it before. It's on the list of things to do. We have Zombie, who is here for the first time in a long, long time. Hope you're doing well. It's nice to see you. Yeah, what's going on? It's been a while. Okay. We have a question about a G2. I have my G2 and I live with my parent, but not in their policy. Can I still drive? We get this question a lot.
Yep.
You can drive any vehicle that is insured and plated, and you have permission to operate as a G2 as long as it's a G-class vehicle. Insurance companies don't like it, though. They want you to be insured if you live with them.
So technically, under the Highway Traffic Act, you are eligible to drive it.
So we wouldn't give you a ticket.
You may not have full coverage if it's listed on the policy that anybody under 25 or anybody in the household has to be named, or a bunch of conditions that they may put on there that you're not abiding by.
It's a big thing to understand that insurance is a private arrangement between a private company and the insured person on the policy, and there are conditions.
Yep. It's a private contract. Now, the government says you must have insurance. Insurance in Ontario is provided only by private companies. So you have to enter an agreement with a private company to get the binding coverage for it. But that coverage can vary. Other places like Quebec or British Columbia or something like that, basic insurance is covered on every vehicle through the government as long as it's properly licensed, which I think is a great idea.
Having the basic coverage. Yeah. Anonymous says, what's being done about fake safety certificates? I've bought many vehicles where I paid a mechanic and he emailed the safety certificate. Is it illegal to acquire one like this, or just him giving?
Yeah. And then you take it to the Ministry of Transportation and present that. That would be fraud. That would be criminal charges and possibly jail time.
So don't do that.
Right. So you're the one that is presenting a false certificate.
And you know it's false because they've not inspected the vehicle. So you're aware of it. You're a party to the offense.
Right. Exactly. Well, there's an offense.
There's two offenses.
For the mechanic. There would be a document offense. There'll be a fraud offense. There'll be a whole bunch of mechanics offenses and Provincial Offences Act offenses, I would imagine.
We'd be working to take away their ability to write safeties as well.
Right. Or to work or make money.
There's that.
Because it's fraudulent, putting everybody's lives in danger. I know it happens. I've heard such things.
If I'm being arrested for impaired and I invoke my right to counsel to speak with a lawyer, is it against my rights if the police keep asking me questions and I say something incriminating?
Not against your rights.
No,
if you don't want to talk, don't talk.
We can ask you anything we want. You don't have to answer.
Yeah. Well, there are certain things you do have to answer.
Yes.
Your identity is one of those, but anything other than that, you don't have to say anything incriminating. Once you've been read your rights to counsel, it's your choice.
Funny how that works. Okay. Thanks, Sergeant. You just helped me with hauling junk from the cottage to the dump as well as firewood to the woodpile. He was asking about the trailer and certification.
Yep.
Let's see here. For roadside marijuana screening, and I've got to look over to TikTok because I've ignored TikTok for most of the morning. It's not working again. I have a feeling I know why, but we'll get to that later. For roadside marijuana screening, are you required to comply like you do with MAS, or do they need some sort of suspicion? Interesting question.
Commercial drivers
and people that are involved in the graduated licensing program.
I believe it is an obligation. Everybody else, it is a suspicion, I believe.
I believe you're right.
Yeah.
We have a lot of belief here. If you are, it's not mandatory. Alcohol screening is very specific to alcohol screening.
Right.
So that is different. That is Canada-wide. And you don't need suspicion to make a demand. A police officer doesn't. So if that demand is read to you, you are obligated to comply, and failure to do so would result in criminal charges of refuse. Right.
The other one is a condition on your license. Mm-hmm. And to be able to prove the condition on your license is being abided by, then a test may be presented to you.
And that won't result in criminal charges. It's HTA related.
Right.
Okay, what's going on here?
All right. So that's me.
You're outie?
I'm done. I'm going to do traffic training today.
Oh, very nice. Well, you have a blast. I know how much fun that can be. It's been a while. I used to really enjoy teaching new recruits traffic direction.
You know what? It's kind of funny. You talk to them and they say, and I always say, who thinks directing traffic's hard? And none of them go, what do you do? You're right there. You kind of do that. Well, get to a busy intersection and you do it for a couple of hours at a time. It is physically and mentally taxing. It really is.
And
all the obligation is on you, because if you do something wrong, causes a crash, it's on you. So, all right.
So it was 2 questions, trailer and Ecto 1. Originally, I was keeping it for you. Thank you, Paul. Okay. It's always nice to have friends on this show. It makes it fun. He says, who says I'm a friend? Okay, I've got questions from TikTok up on screen. And Frank Parsons followed the host. Cool. Tevik wants to know about how do we join the force. We've already got that. We have a question. I've looked into joining the force, but I'm colorblind. Is there anything left for me to do? So as a police officer, you need to have proper color acuity, which means you need to have the ability of seeing or identifying colors. So you couldn't be a police officer, as far as I know, but you can be a special constable unless things have changed. Because the history was you could be a court officer, which is how I started, and many of my coworkers, well, they were colorblind, and that's why they became court officers, because they couldn't qualify otherwise. For parking enforcement, I believe you have the option as well. But I would still suggest you contact the folks at our recruiting department, and they can give you better information. But maybe things have changed. And for your sake, I hope that works out. Yeah, I had to get laser surgery to qualify for policing because my eyes were not good or less good. They're now more good and less good again. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, Chris really has a question about copy and paste. They don't want to know about copy and paste, but they do want to know about cell phone mounts. I notice a lot of Toyota drivers have cell phone carrier on their dash. So their car dash. Is that allowed? If it doesn't obscure the driver's view and you're not actively using the telephone, then that's fine. You can answer or hang up. That is it. That's the story. It's not a very exciting story, but it's the story. Okay, my muffler fell off. What's the fine? $110 for driving without a muffler and $110 for creating unnecessary noise. I would get that fixed. Now, if it just fell off and it's reasonable that an officer might give you a warning, but if you had another, stop and you hadn't fixed it, that's a really good indication that you are not doing what you're supposed to do. So get it fixed. Olga De Silva wants to know about carrying documents. And I'm cutting and pasting. I'm doing this very manually today. Manually. Okay. This is me catching up on TikTok, by the way. I will go back and catch up on the YouTube questions shortly. And the question is, do we need to carry the original driver's ownership documents at all times? So you have to carry your original driver's license. You have to carry your original insurance slip or use an electronic copy, but your ownership can be the original or a true copy, which is a photocopy of both sides. You cannot have a photo of it. You must have either the original or a true copy. Once again, that's both sides. Thanks for all the information, says Agummer. You're very welcome. Logan says, how much of a fine is it to pass a school bus with its lights on? I think it's $500. But you know what? I never seem to remember, and I'm going to look it up for you because now I'm curious. And by repetition, I will eventually memorize this. But it's one of the outliers. It's either school bus, boom, 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 $490 and 6 demerit points. And it's not just lights, it's red flashing lights because there are ambers, and the ambers you're allowed to pass on. It's caution, but you can still pass. Bashir Baish says, I tried to call about my ticket. The line is busy. Could you check my ticket? I cannot check your ticket. It also takes a number of days until it goes through the system. What kind of ticket is it? PG. Maybe it's a parking ticket. Okay. Why do cops... Oh, this is actually an interesting question from Ethan, who wants to know about handcuffs. Let's put this on the screen. I have a lot of experience with handcuffs. in that I was a court officer and I've done more handcuffing than the average police officer because we would handcuff prisoners from the cells, take them to court and back again. We transport them to and from court in vehicles. Lots and lots of handcuffing. Anyway, loose handcuffs not only allow you to twist your wrist, they'll cut you. So for your safety, tighter is the appropriate way to put them on. They're not meant for safety. Tight, not to the point of cutting off circulation, but tight so that it locks in front of the bone on your wrist. It has to stay in place. Otherwise, it gets all over the place and people tend to be bleeding and it's not fun. So tighter is actually better and safer. What do we got? Someone says, I'm very, 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 very famous on TikTok. Who do you think you're talking to? Let's see here. Okay, we got more. A lot of chat. Is calling an officer offensive to some? Is calling an officer a cop? I'm very proud to be a cop. It's not offensive to anyone that I know. I've never been offended with someone calling me a cop. I'm a cop. Am I an officer? Sure. I mean, technically, I'm a police constable. Officer. We're all police. We're all cops. We're all police officers, but we have different ranks. And I've never heard of anyone really complaining. And just a reminder to anyone, please don't spam in the chat. I know I've been ignoring so much of the chat for a while, not intentionally. We've just had other stuff going on. And TikTok's not integrating today, again. That's why I even put my tweet actually said, with random, technical cooperation type thing. It's not being good. But what is a good way to go? Go to youtube.TrafficCop.ca. Takes you to our YouTube page. If TikTok is giving you a hard time, you can certainly jump over to the other platform. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to go back for a second to the most magical of Restream to see what we've got. I don't want to get too far behind. What's this? Chase has got some stuff. Okay. Question from Chase. If a car is impounded for stunt, we continue, and gets towed but gets damaged, does that come out of the city's pocket or the tow operator? So when we look at the vehicle and we do an impound certificate or a page, we will walk around and note any of the damage, if there's existing damage. If it's damaged from that point till it gets into the impound, it's going to be the responsibility of the tow operator. It's a good question, though. We also we do a search, and this throws people off. We will do a content search, an inventory search. If and we'll ask the individual who owns the car in a stunt situation, take your valuables out. But we'll make sure that there's nothing valuable in the vehicle, because as it gets towed, we want to make sure that nothing that you own gets taken. Some people, especially if in a collision situation, somebody will. Actually, it's going to be we're going to make sure it's removed. If someone's taken a hospital and they're not able to search it, we'll do an inventory to make sure that nothing's missing. That's because they're not around when we're towing it. You're around. You take your valuables out. Yeah, it's been a while. I don't think we do an inventory search when it's taken for impound. I retract my original statement. Okay. Kayla says, I'm playing catch up. I'm actually down to the hospital road tomorrow. Cool. Oh. Yeah, if you're gonna be in the neighborhood, let me know. Let's see here. We got Adolfo de Jesus Chavez or Jesus. How would you pronounce that perfectly or preferably to your liking? You got a long name. Is it okay to drive a car if your car has been sitting there for a while just around the neighborhood so it doesn't overseize my car? Are you licensed? Is your vehicle insured and plated? Those are the only times that you can. It's those three conditions. You have to be licensed. It must be insured and plated. Obviously, it has to be safe for the road. If it's just driving it around, but it's in storage and not plated and not insured, then it's absolutely against the law to do that. You cannot drive it around. Driving without a license, or there's charges for everything, but the insurance one in particular is $5,000 to $25,000 and up to 6 months in jail. Really, really, really don't do that. Okay, so we've caught up with that. What is this one? My tire has a small leak. Oh no, if your tire has a small leak and you have to keep pulling over every few kilometers, are you allowed to drive like that temporarily, or is that an unsafe vehicle with an improper tire? If you're driving on a flat, you're going to damage the tire. if you keep on pumping it up and regularly pulling over and putting up more air, is it a good idea? No. I think you'd probably be safer by putting a spare on it. But I just went through this. I just had 2 nails in my tire. I had to pump it up on the way to work. I got to work. It deflated while I was at work. After work, I pumped it up and then took it to the shop. But it was holding enough air. It was such a slow leak. It wasn't every few kilometers. It would be a whole day of just sitting there. It's not unsafe. It's not. You know what it's holding air. If that changed during your drive and you were driving on a flat, you're going to damage again your stuff. Do you guys have APBs and permanent bolos on certain notorious street racers in Toronto and Ontario and your guys' different precincts? And do you have to, and do they have chase on site, pull over site orders? I don't know. We don't generally have, well, we do have APBs, although different acronym. We would be briefed at a parade. We parade before a sergeant before we go on the road, and they would provide information that we would all be looking for. So if we're looking for a certain vehicle or someone matching a certain description, that would be provided prior to us going on the road. We'd make notation of that in our memo books, and then we'd respond to it. But is it one that's just like anytime you see Bob in a green Corvette, pull him over? No. Well, actually, I shouldn't say. I don't know. Maybe somebody does have, like, there's a car there's a standing issue with a particular vehicle and it's terrorizing a neighborhood. They want to identify it. Yeah, I guess it would be a safety notice, looking to identify that sort of thing. But it's not. I don't think it's a standard thing. Let's see here. Covered this one. What is the fine for school bus drive? Oh, this is Stephen D. Nielsen. What's the fine for a school bus driver using their red flashing lights when they're not loading or unloading children? Specific example being one who uses them to stop traffic and back into their driveway at the end of the day. There's a specific charge for improper use. School bus, let's see here. I'm looking to see if I can find it, but there is a charge. I don't know if that would qualify for it. Improper use, come on. Accessible, no. There's definitely a charge. I just don't know what it is. It's probably $110. Lots of reading. Maintain, CSA standard, not certified. You'd think this would be something I'd ever looked up. No, never looked it up before. Improperly actuate school bus signals, $110. It's a good guess, right? No person shall activate the overhead signal lights or the stop arm on a school bus on a highway under any circumstances other than those set out in subsection 6, for which I have not read recently, and I could not tell you what they are. Are the police pickup trucks the same as a cruiser, or are they for special purposes? In Toronto, they're special purposes, but they have the ability to do everything that any other police car can use or do. But other services issue pickup trucks as general patrol vehicles. So it depends on which police service you're talking about. But here, yeah, we have SUVs, but we don't have pickup trucks. Like Mounted has pickup trucks, and the Marine unit has pickup trucks, and our actually, at Traffic Services, we have the Collision Reconstruction Unit. They have pickup trucks, but they have big caps in the back, big cargo caps that have specialty equipment in them. What is this? Asian boy has a question. And I'm going to cut and paste it so I can put it on screen. I really like it when the functionality works properly on this magical platform. It has not been so good. It has not been working. Anyway, everyone knows that I'm frustrated. We're moving on. What do we have this? So, if the speed limit is the speed limit in the fast lane higher legally? The answer is no. It is not. It's the same speed. If it's a posted speed limit of 100, that is the speed limit for the highway in all lanes. Makes no difference what laneway you're in. People have said, maybe we should have a passing lane that's faster. No. Passing is for passing slower people, not actually exceeding the posted speed limit. And they have a follow-up question. What speed can I comfortably cruise in without being scared of being pulled over? The speed limit. That is the maximum speed you can legally go. Hey, Sean, what are your thoughts of a subpoena officer job who delivers subpoenas? So this is a summons server. I've never done the job. I've served stuff before as a police officer, but the courts will often pay a service to do it. I don't really have any experience with it in terms of what my thoughts are. I mean, it's a dangerous job sometimes. 2013 Toyota Camry men says or asks, what color window are legal? And I imagine you mean window tint. And there's no color issue, any color. It's about how much light you're restricting. That is the question. And you can't, to certify, to have your vehicle certifiable, it can't be more than 30%. When it comes to driving on the road, the windows left and right of the driver and the windshield are even more restricted. Well, actually, windshield can't have anything, period. That's for certification. So if you have tints on your window or your windshield, that is going to be your vehicle taken out of service. You're going to be unsafe motor vehicle, pull your plates. If you're talking about the windows left and right of the driver, if we can't see inside your vehicle, you're going to get a $110 ticket. Do you know what happens when you buy a car from Quebec and you live in Ontario? Do you pay tax twice? So I don't actually know the answer to that question in terms of tax. What I can tell you is that when you import it, you get a temporary permit to transport it from one province to the other, and then you would pay tax here. But I don't know about the taxation there for double tax. Good question though. Is it illegal to have a plugged-in electric heater in your backseat if your car heat doesn't work? I'm not aware of any law that would prevent you from doing that. Interesting question. Are all police cruisers in Ontario equipped with radar detectors, aka Spectre detectors? The answer would be no. Victoria says hello. Hello, Victoria. And, it was the same question, but the letter Q was put on there because King 5K is awesome and wants to comply with that request. I appreciate it. Super Rare says, are steering wheel knobs legal? So they're not illegal. I thought they were, but I could not find anything to suggest that they were illegal. They are devices used for those who have accessibility issues. So if you have, there are people who have one arm, cannot drive easily without one, so they can certainly have them. I've been unable to find anything that suggests that you need a special permit or authorization or training, although there are organizations that train people to actually use different assisted devices for driving. So there you go. Interesting stuff. I would say that I wouldn't suggest one. Back in the day, it was needed because, like way back, on tractors that had giant steering wheels, you needed that just to be able to get around, and there was no power steering, so you needed it. In today's day and age, you don't need it, and I would say that it's actually something that's going to really hurt you in a collision because everything's designed to break away and fold and not get in the way of airbags. That thing's going to hurt. Okay. What do we see here? Best way to stand out on an interview? So it's not just the interview. I'm going to put this on screen so we can flag it. All right. Interview techniques or ways to, it's about being comfortable, which is hard to do in a nervous situation. So if you're comfortable, if you make eye contact, these are good things. Knowing stuff. If you know your stuff, if you know about the police service, you're not going to be caught off guard. Prepare, sleep, eat, get rid of your bathroom business well in advance so that you're ready and not distracted. But nerves are going to be your biggest issue. But if you're a good candidate and you've got lots of life experience to draw on to provide answers to the questions being asked, you're going to look good. I don't have techniques for really interview techniques. I can tell you preparation for behavioral events interviews and how to sort of get your head ready for the type of interviewing. That's a different conversation. But talk to a recruiter. They're going to help you. The goal is to make you successful. They want to prepare you for a good, successful interview. Richard, what's going on? He says, good morning. Currently in my school bus parked, loading up students from high school exams here in Thunder Bay. Well, I'm glad you are parked. I'm glad that you joined us. You told me you said that on Twitter last night that you were going to try and jump in, which is awesome to see you. Richard usually, comments and discusses or talks to us by way of Twitter, but it's nice to see you on YouTube. What is this? Stephen says the same thing, that he thought that those knobs on the steering wheel were illegal. I thought the same thing, but I cannot find anything to support that. Sometimes I just research things and that's one of the things I was researching. Let's see here. Victoria says, what do I do? Like your career? Is this a lot of live streams you say, I'll tell you what you do from your profile. I can't pull up your profile picture right now. Norman Pike says, being in the motorcycle police squad, Sean, is riding your main hobby outside of work. It was. From 16 years old, I've ridden motorcycles, and I have ridden on duty, off duty, cross country. I've done all the riding I can do. I love it. I miss it. I have not ridden since my personal motorcycle or my work motorcycle collision in 2018. My bike is at home, and one day I might put insurance back on it. In fact, I was so sure I was getting back on the bike that I kept insurance on it for years, and it never moved. In fact, it starts, actually, I was shocked. I started it up. It starts. It started right up, even though the battery was dead. I had to boost it, but it's not moved in a bit. I thought about selling it. Maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. What would I buy with the money? That's the question. What would I do? Would I just pay bills? I don't know. Bills are always coming in. There's always need for money. All right. Oh, I missed the previous question. NP office said, stop calling parking authority on illegal parking. Really? How on earth did they tell you to stop calling to report illegal parking? I don't know what to tell you. If they've, maybe you need to do a campaign on social media to get more attention. Maybe talk to the local media, newspaper, television, and you've got valid complaints. And if they're not listening to you, that's a problem. Maybe take it to the next level. Maybe call the Premier's office. But someone's got to help you. That's ridiculous that they say, stop calling us. We don't care about parking. That's wrong. Okay. What is this? Good morning again. If you don't register your plates, what's the fine? I can't register because the 40. 407, maybe that's what they're saying. It's cut off. This is Jasper 101 who wants to know. So if you are driving without plates, you're not legal for the road. So you can't drive on the road. You're driving without plates. You're going to get tickets. And if you keep doing that, like if you were caught once with invalid plates, you're going to get $110. If you're getting a lot of these, you're going to get sent to a summons to go directly to court. This is no bueno. So don't do that. If you owe money to the 407 and you can't get plates because of it, then you're not eligible to drive. If you own the car, you can't put plates on it. Oh, Akila says the MP would be federal representative. Try your local counselor. Yes, counselor would be the first stop. So that is good advice. Thank you, Akila. Akila knows stuff. Bus in right lane picking up. If safe, can I pass? Okay, hang on a second. Ken O2 Gold. Okay, bus in right lane picking up. If safe, can I pass bus on left side and turn right in front of bus? So if we're talking about a TTC or a municipal bus, if you can get into the lane in front of them, if they've left room for it, is that unlawful? Not if it's done safely. If you are behind the bus and you now have to make a pass, wait a few seconds. How big of a rush are you in? If you're talking about a school bus that's got its arm out, well, obviously you can't pass them. That's a totally different situation. King 5K says, is my question inappropriate? I got one of your questions. Okay. That's your second question because I had a question from you. So question is, if a police officer says I'm speeding in a traffic stop but does not have a reliable source of providing it, like a radar or laser gun source, should I fight it in court? It doesn't have to be either one of those. I can pace you and say you're speeding. Speeding is any number over the posted speed limit. If I was pacing you and I was doing 5 kilometers over and you're doing 5 kilometers over, guess what? You're doing 5 kilometers over and you're eligible for a ticket. Could you fight it? You're eligible or you're entitled to fight whatever you like. Will you defend it successfully? That's a different question. I don't have an answer for that. Okay. Oh, local counselor says not to report it anymore. Yeah, I would totally take that up on in a larger forum and keep going up the chain, and I'd be picking names and getting other people involved because that's not okay. How do you say just don't report it anymore? We're not going to do anything about it. That's terrible. Okay. I'm a G2 driver. I live with my parents. I'm not an insurance policy. I'm allowed to drive if the insurance finds out what will happen. So I think you asked this earlier, or at least somebody did. And the answer is the insurance companies don't want you to, but you're legally permitted to operate the vehicle if the vehicle is insured. We wouldn't give you a ticket, but the insurance company may choose not to repair the vehicle to deny a claim if you're driving because their policies usually say that you must be insured. So at very least, I would call and have yourself added for the very low, well, generally, I shouldn't say it would be very, could be low, could be minimal for an occasional driver to be listed as a secondary driver. So that would be your best course of action, to do it all in the up and up and make sure you're covered in the event of a collision, because let's say they covered the liability and deny the repair of the vehicle. If it's a vehicle that, maybe somebody requires for work and because you took it and it's not insured for comprehensive and now it's not being paid for. That could be a very expensive, bill. Do you work with anyone that you went to Ontario Police College with? In the building? I did. Originally, I did. There were a bunch of people who worked here, and they've most of them have gone elsewhere, either within the unit in a different location or outside of the unit to explore other stuff and things. Oh, John's got a dad joke. Hang on, looking over to see if I missed anything. Why is there a white strobe light on top of a school bus? Okay, for my school bus drivers in the audience, why is there a white school bus light? Because I have the same question. I mean, I've got ideas as to why, but I don't have a good answer. Okay, Jake here, did you give me the same dad joke in 2 places? Okay, okay, no, we're up to date there. Yeah, so I'm looking for questions about or answers to the strobe light question. Tian wants to know if police with the siren on were traveling in the HOV lane, would the vehicles in the HOV lane have to move over, even if they're not? Even if they are in the no crossing over section. So, despite any other rules, what supersedes is the response to police and emergency services siren. So, you would have to pull over to the nearest edge of roadway or curb. If you're in the HOV, chances are it's going to be your left lane. Or the left curb. What do I think about the SPVM? Is that the Montreal Police or Quebec Police? I'm not sure what that is. Let's Google. And you can tell already that I must not know about them. Okay, so that is Montreal Police. I've never had a bad experience. I've gone to visit Montreal. I used to go there regularly. I've never had a negative experience. I've had some great conversations. I used to go to a place that's no longer there, Picasso, for Montreal smoked meat. Had some great conversations in line with police there. Okay. Is it illegal to listen to police radio? And the answer is no. If it's unencrypted, it's radio waves, you can listen to it. We encrypt ours, you can't listen to it. Mark the Tech Guy. This morning I was on my way home from work and was going north on the 400. I had my cruise control set to 110 kilometers an hour. OPP was doing radar at the side of the highway. I left it at 110 going by, and the police... There's no continuation of this message. I'm assuming they didn't stop you. And I would say that they're probably looking for bigger fish. Now, Were you breaking the law? Yes, you were. And 110, I don't know if they are focused on 110. Is it illegal? It is illegal. Could you get a ticket? Yes. Have I seen people being pulled over for 120? Absolutely. 110, they might be giving you the benefit. Michael says, light on southbound for visibility in poor conditions. It may be required elsewhere. Too many use it in Toronto for no reason. What are we talking? Oh, school bus, not southbound. Light on school bus is for visibility in poor conditions. It may be required elsewhere. Too many use it in Toronto for no reason, but I do not know the law against it. Yeah, white light on the roof. Law, I don't have an issue. I think, just like roof markings, I think in a police situation where helicopters are coming in to identify the bus, it's easy to find. But I'm speculating. I don't know the why. So I appreciate the poor visibility school bus blinky light. If you've been fired from a job before, does it affect your chances of becoming a police officer? If you've been fired for cause and, fired is a big deal. Yeah, it could hurt you. Absolutely could hurt you. But I've never been in that situation. I can't speak to it. I don't know what would happen in that situation in employment. I imagine if you could explain it, like the person there hated me, maybe it was a racial thing, maybe there was a reason, but it wasn't a justified reason. They just really disliked you. I would try and avoid being fired. That would be my suggestion. Like if it's a bad situation, I'd probably leave that situation. Contact a lawyer before you go. All depends. I'm just throwing stuff out there. King 5K says, if your encrypted radio feed was decrypted, would it be okay to listen to police radar or signal? Decrypting our encrypted and trunking channel, I would say that's probably not lawful to decode that, but I don't know. That's outside of my scope of knowing stuff. How intense is the fitness testing? I have to take the same for my program. I don't know how intense it is now. It was certainly intense when I took it. Information, because I think they've changed the standards a bit. I would say check out our website because it's all going to be listed there. And the OACP as well. There's a whole bunch of questions here. Whole bunch of questions. I'm going to go to TikTok. I really need TikTok to work. This is really frustrating for you and me. And because we've had so many questions come in, they've been ignored, I'm going to go back. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to put them into my Word document. I'm going to come back and answer them. So now I'm going to ignore everybody but TikTok for a few. And let's get to some questions. Because it's not cool that you're waiting behind everybody else. I'm going to go backwards. So Mac McCormick, when you travel in rural areas and it's foggy, the strobe lights reflect down, you can see the bus. How does it reflect down? I guess it's up, facing up. I guess it just illuminates the fog. What do we got here? Maybe going backwards is not good. Do you work with conservation officers or just see them in passing? I've not worked with, I know some conservation officers, or one in particular. One. I know one, but we've never worked together. But my friend is married to one, so that's how I know. One. Not actually, technically not conservation, warden. Is that the same thing? Park warden. Yogi Bear and the whole business. Passenger not wearing a seatbelt, can they accumulate demerit points? No. There's no demerit points for the passenger. What's your opinion on modified cars? Should all mods be illegal? Legal mods are legal. Illegal mods are illegal. No, I don't think all mods need to be illegal. There's some that don't impact safety, and there's nothing wrong with those. Do you have to stop for a bus on a divided highway? You can't pass the bus on a divided highway, but from front to back. But the traffic on the other side of a divided means that it's one way. All lanes are going in one direction within your section of road. So the other section of road is across a barrier, grassy knoll, what have you. That's the divided highway. If it's a division of a painted line, then everybody's going to stop. Do you have to follow traffic signs on private property? Can police enforce them? No. They are there. You could be charged for dangerous driving if you're causing collisions. That's a different thing. You're responsible for what you do. But do you have to follow the signs? You can't be charged for them. If I waited 3 cycles at a left turn lane, can I run the red and make the left turn? No, not in Ontario. Maybe somewhere else would have that. We don't have that in the books. Boom. Okay. We talked about that. Can someone renew his driver's license while he's living outside of Canada? If you can do it online, you can do it online. If it requires you to come in, then you're going to have to come in. Can I drive with cleaned out catalytic converters? And just to back up to that, if you're living outside, you should have a local license for where you're living. You should convert your license to go there because our license is for when you live in Ontario. So if you're living outside, that's a problem. Oh, and Ingrid just responded. Hey, I got your message, Ingrid. If you're watching live, hello. Let's see here. How fast do police cars go? As fast as they need to. It's the right answer, right? I don't know what their maximum speeds are. I don't think I've ever had to go the maximum. What is this? I'll flag these in just a bit. Lawrence Avenue West at Allen Road is messed up and needs some extra attention. That's very possible. What's messed up about it? Okay, we talked about this. Fonzie. What are we talking about? RGB. Okay. We talked about this. Scrolling backwards, of course, it really changes the context of conversations when you're taking them out of context. Doesn't make any sense. Is Ontario/Toronto a stop and ID province city? No. We just stop people randomly and ask them for ID? No. I mean, if you're driving a car, yes, we could. Anyone driving an automobile or a motor vehicle is subject to provide their license, ownership, insurance upon demand. And we can stop anyone for that purpose to ensure that they're licensed, insured, and sober, and that their vehicle is safe. Let's see here. I think we've covered a lot of this stuff. Scrolling for something I don't know. We're usually done at 11 o'clock. We're going to go for 10 more minutes. Boom, boom, boom. By the way, I think I asked some questions at the beginning of the show in terms of, was I asking about Cacto? I thought I asked somebody a question earlier. Like, is someone being everyone? Did anyone answer? Are you Ghostbusters fans? That's the question. I just saw the preview. I also saw the preview for, what's the other one? Despicable Me 4. Didn't know that was coming. That was a shock. I'm excited about that. I like going to movies with my kids. Oddly enough, we all like the same things. Now, did anyone see Wish? Disney's new movie, Wish? Did you like it? It had a terrible box office report. It didn't do well. But I watched it with my kids, and we liked it. Here is a interesting question, and I think the LOL, I think the LOL suggests they know the answer why. Okay. They notice that firefighters and paramedics put stickers in the back of their cars, but never see the police do. LOL. Yeah, not everybody likes the police, but most often they like paramedics and firefighters. We're all on the same team, but again, sometimes you make yourself a target by putting things on your vehicle. And it's sad that that's the case. Same thing goes for flags, especially in soccer season. You support the wrong team, and someone could be keying your car. It's terrible. Can't we just get along? Akela likes Ghostbusters. I think there may be issues with the jump seat with particle cannon and maybe the floor door for drone trap deployment. I concur, sir. I think you're onto something. Haley Weber wants to know what you can, what specific. I'll read it verbatim. What can I do or not do with my G2? Putting it on screen. And the answer is you can drive on any road. You do have restrictions between midnight and 5 a.m. And the condition is in the first year only. So there's a condition for no alcohol at any time. You must have zero alcohol content. And the conditions are between midnight and 5 a.m. In the first 6 months, you can have no more than one person in the motor vehicle besides you, one passenger, under the age of 20, unless they're immediate family. If you are in the second 6-month period of getting your G2, then you are allowed to have up to 3 persons under the age of 20, excluding immediate family, between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m. Other than that, it's a full license, but you have to get your G to keep it. If you have to renew your G2, you have to do your G2 test again. Mevidu says, please answer my question, sir. I don't see your question. I see that statement. But if you put your question again, do we see it back here? Oh, I see it. Yes, I flagged your question to come back to in a second. So I haven't forgot about you. I'm catching up with other things, just like Tian said. See, he says I'm catching up with questions from TikTok. See? People on the ball here. Yes, we are not an instant, and we are unable to do instant gratification here where we answer things immediately upon your request. We're usually about 15 to 20 minutes behind the question being asked until we can answer it. So you got to wait at least 15 or 20, sometimes longer. And you know what else you can do? You can come back the next time we're live, which is tomorrow, Wednesday. Is tomorrow? What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is the 31st, last day of January. I'm okay with that. Brings February. It reminds me I have to ship some stuff back. I'm returning some Amazon purchases. They did not meet. They didn't work. They were yuck. What do we got here? Questions about snowmobiles. That would have been perfect for the Sarge. He'll be back hopefully tomorrow, because Braden wants to know about laws on aftermarket exhaust for snowmobiles, quads, etc., and I have no idea. Coffee is terribly cold. I'm still going to drink it, though. James says, an officer threatened to tow my car for having no muffler. Can he do that? Can he tow it? I've never towed a vehicle for... No, I don't think there's authority for towing it. Maybe I'm wrong. But I've never... I'm trying to think if there's any reason where we would prevent someone from driving away. I mean, you can tell you that you can't drive it. That's a lawful... It's not safe. It's not legal for the road like that. Thinking here. Look up muffler. No muffler motor vehicle. You get a $110 ticket. I can't imagine towing you for that. Could also do the unnecessary noise, another $110 ticket. If you got a history of it, maybe I'll give you a summons, but preventing you from driving away? I don't think you can do that. I could be wrong, and we'll ask the sergeant later and then talk about it tomorrow. What happens if someone ran 2 amber lights, obstruction to stunt driving, but what is this? Hang on, I'll put this on screen because you can all see what I see. In the meantime, Anonymous says, I have to be honest, most of the people I know who do takeovers didn't even know the law changed to enforce on private property. They haven't been charged, so why do they care? We've done incredible sweeps when it comes to stunt driving. We've arrested criminally so many people regarding stunt driving because there's a threshold from stunt driving that even criminal is applicable. So people are getting arrested just because your friends haven't. They've been lucky. And if you're lucky, you're either lucky or you're due. So maybe they're the next ones to get arrested. Only time will tell. John Kieran says, guy crossing Quebec border high speed into Ontario while pursued by Quebec police. Who gets to arrest and jail first? So, hot pursuit. The Quebec border continues to chase. Local police would be notified, and everyone gets to play. Who actually arrests them? The originating offense took place in Quebec. I imagine that they'd probably be processed and taken back to Quebec. I've never been. This is me speculating. Can I go to jail if I was driving under suspension and caused a collision, got careless driving, causing bodily harm? Yes. Yes, you can. there is I'll pull it up so I can read it to you. Careless cause bodily harm or death. No set fine, meaning you go to court. Every person who is guilty of the offense of driving carelessly, who drives a vehicle or a motor vehicle, no, it just says vehicle or streetcar on a highway without due care and attention or without reasonable consideration for other persons using the highway, and who thereby causes bodily harm or death, on conviction, is liable to a fine not less than $2,000 and not more than $50,000, or to an imprisonment for a term of not more than 2 years, or to both. And in addition, his or her driver's license or permit may be suspended for a period of not more than 5 years. Holy moly, right? So 2,000 to 50,000, up to 2 years, and a driving prohibition for up to 5 years. So yeah, you can go to jail. Absolutely. Maybe you want a lawyer. Just saying. Now I understand why they really wanted the question answered. Would you arrest someone for having loud music? Not an arrestable offense. Unnecessary loud noise or unnecessary noise could be caused by your stereo, your horn, other noise-making device, or your exhaust pipe. So it's all the same thing. And arresting, no. But absolutely a ticket for $110. What do we got here? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We're going to go right on halfway in the hour. If it's illegal to drive without a muffler, why not be able to tow? Yeah, towing authority, so we could say tow it or I'll give you another ticket in the block. Because if you continue to drive with it, you're eligible for more tickets. Every block all the way home, you could get a ticket. There's no reason that you should be allowed to drive. But to impound or to force a tow, I don't think there's the authority there. But you make a reasonable question or statement. I'll have to look it up. And this is where interpretation comes in. To prevent the continuation of an offense, does it apply? John says, no muffler ticketed. Can you get another within a certain amount of time? Yeah, if another officer pulls you over down the street, you're eligible for another ticket. Absolutely. What do we got here? Is it okay to drive with no fuel and break down holding up traffic? You mean, can you get a ticket for running out of gas? I'm not aware of anybody ever doing that. I mean, you really didn't plan well, but what if your gauge was broken and you didn't know you were out of gas? There's so many what ifs. I'm not aware of any charge related to running out of gas, but I've been hearing about this question for a year now. I've never found anything to support giving a ticket for someone who's broken down. If your vehicle is disabled, and running out of gas is just poor planning, so maybe because it's preventable, just some responsibility, and but giving someone a ticket when they've run out of gas seems like something I would not do, just me. How long after receiving a ticket do you have to fight it? You have 15 days to file, to choose to dispute. Oh, sorry, putting this here. Yeah, you have 15 days to respond to either pay it, ask for a first appearance with a prosecutor, or choose to get a court date. The Grinch says, good morning. Good morning to you. And King 5K says, on the German Autobahn, you get fined for running out of gas on the Autobahn. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I've just never heard of it being an issue here. I wonder what the charge is. And maybe it would be applicable. Maybe interfere with traffic could be applicable because you chose. Jack John says, I'm buying a car tomorrow, but the owner doesn't have insurance. Can I drive the car to my house? Not until you have insurance. So you call your insurance company, you give them the VIN, you tell them you've purchased it, and you'd like an insurance policy put on it because you're picking it up. Once you do that, if you have unattached plates from a previously owned vehicle, you can put them on for up to 6 days to get home, but it has to be insured. The only other way to transport that is on the back of a tow truck or being towed behind a tow truck. But you cannot operate on the road at all without insurance, active insurance. $5,000 to $25,000 up to 6 months in jail if you don't have insurance. And the registered owner is the one who's responsible for that. Or the person in charge of it. I guess if you pay cash for the car, take it away, you're now in charge of it, so you would be responsible. I think we've got everything here. I think we're pretty much up to date, except for the 43 new messages on TikTok. Lots of new stuff. But being that we have 6 minutes left, I apologize to those who have just come in and have questions to ask. I will not have a chance to answer them. But we'll be here tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Get your questions in early. I'm going to work with tech support to try and get this resolved because it needs to be resolved. We've had lots of meetings, lots of things. I'm going to try tomorrow on the old layout and see if that works any better. In any case, let's do what we do every day, which is read whatever quote gets provided by the most magical ASKaTrafficCop Draconis. And then we'll do some dad jokes because they've been provided by the audience. Yes. So Yogi Berra quote, you don't have to swing hard to hit a home run. If you got the timing, it'll go. I like it. It's one of the better Yogi Berra quotes. And dad joke from Michaela. Have you ever tried blindfolded archery? You don't know what you're missing. I like that. All right. What is this? Oh. Okay. John says, dad joke. I told my wife to embrace her mistakes. She hugged me. Also good. I approve. Okay, we covered this. Okay, we're up to date. We have talked about all the stuff to talk about today. It's been a pleasure. I enjoy doing this. I will do it again tomorrow. I will let you know if we're doing it with is this a week for Jerry? I don't know. Were we with Jerry last week? Every other week. We join the radio and we chat about stuff and things. Maybe it's next week for Jerry. Anyway, I'll ask. Maybe we'll be on the radio. Maybe we won't. Either way, I'll be here 10 a.m. Eastern time to answer your traffic and police questions. Fingers crossed that we do it with technology on our side. And what did I just see? Oh. One last question. If I get a parking ticket on a food delivery job, am I allowed to dispute it or have to pay for it? If you got a parking ticket while you parked a car illegally, you get to pay for it because it's you. I mean, you can choose to try and dispute it, but if you did it, you're guilty of doing it. You don't get a pass for being on food delivery. There's no let's park and mess around with traffic because I got places to be and I'm more important than anyone else. I mean, no, you're responsible for parking legally. That's part of it. Oh man, I love these questions. That one's my favorite for today, I think. We're gonna go and listen to the traffic song, and I'll see if anything pops into my view in the meantime.
Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow. Watch for pedestrians, look out for bikes, and don't drive like a jerk that no one likes. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Put down your cell phone, nobody needs you to text and drive on the DVP. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Stop at stop signs, look both ways, then go. Seatbelt, save your life indeed. And watch your driving, don't speed. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Don't drink and drive or smoke some weed because you might go to jail and not get freed. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow.
And I saw a couple of questions in trying to scroll TikTok. It's totally not cooperating because so many questions come in and the page just keeps reloading. But someone said, asked what microphone am I using? So I'm scrolling back to find that question because it may have been part of other questions. Can I drive a cargo van with the other person sitting beside me in the HOV lane? If If it's not beyond the size, if it's a cargo van, like a regular cargo van, then yeah, it needs 2 people and you're 2 people. But where am I looking for? Oh, wardens are different than conservation officers. Cool. But there was one about the microphone. Where is it? Maybe I'll find it this way. Micro. Come on. Maybe it was just Mike? No. Are we allowed to have a studded tire if from another province? If you're registered in another province, you can visit Ontario for up to 30 days. And it's Stock Talk for, is it Stock Talk for you? What mic you're using now, it sounds very clear, brand and model. And the answer, here, I'll put it on screen. So I have a Shure SM7B. That's what I'm using. I am connected to a Rodecaster Pro 2, and that is my setup. But this is also a sound-treated room, so it's insulated in such a way that the sound doesn't reflect off the walls, which really just adds to the wonderful sound that we get inside here. This particular microphone has been not replaced, but there's now a new version that has a booster in. So depending on what your, sorry, did I mention this? I'm gonna have a new section of Tech Talk with Sean. Yeah, we have like the Rodecaster Pro 2 can push more power, can run higher decibel wise, and will support this microphone. But many people needed to get sound clouds or other booster devices to use this microphone. So they made a new one, which basically sounds exactly the same, but will work with other units that can't push the same power. And yeah, so that's the story there. I love this microphone. It's my personal microphone. I bought it with my own money. The mics that we use, the other mics that are owned by the service, are the Shure MV7s. These are USB and XLR, so I can run them into the soundboard and use them as a regular microphone, or I could plug them directly using USB into an iPhone or a computer. They will do it. It is awesome. I find them just less magical, slightly, in terms of sound quality. This is an amazing microphone. It's a famous microphone, and there was, I think, Michael Jackson recorded a, what is it? Hang on a second. I want to look this up because it's neat for mic geeks. SM7B. It's not cheap, but it's amazing. They say it's iconic. So who used it? Let's see here. SM7. I'm looking for, fictional radio DJ Chris, played by John Corbett, uses an SM7 without windscreen on the television series Northern Exposure. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. Come on, where's all the lineage? Where's all the magic? Yeah. Look it up. There's lots of it's lots of music. Wait, music. Mid-70s to micro. Okay, whatever. I was hoping to give you some great. AC/DC, Brian, Mike Frazier. Oh well. I've geeked too far down the rabbit hole. I like the microphone. I'm glad that you like it. I try and maintain the best sound and quality as we go along with this thing. We have fun. I have fun. That's it. And we're going, but steps to becoming TPS. Apply. Just go to this website, www.tps.ca/careers, and all the information is there. Of course, you can reach out to an employment unit member, and they will help you along your process. They want to help you. That's the whole goal of the game. All right, everybody, it's been a blast. Hour and 30 minutes in the bag. Have a great day. Drive safe, drive sober, park legally, and smile because it looks good on you. See you tomorrow.